Hello.
Hello. Hi, this is Paul.
Hi, it's Iris.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Excellent.
I'm super excellent because I can't believe I get to talk to you. This is like a dream come true. You don't know how much Broken Lizard means to me. Thank you.
Oh, no, that's awesome. Yeah, you can talk to us anytime. I mean, we're always promoting our shit and happy to talk to people. Yeah.
God, and it's nice to do it like this because no one... Hello? Oh, for the love of God, the line cut off. No. Paul Soter? Soter Pop? God, why? Why do these things always happen to me? Why? I'll never love again. Oh, yeah, he's calling back, thank God. I am so sorry. Was that my end?
I have no
Oh, my God. This equipment, I swear to God, and I was going to warn you that I've tested this out a few times last week, and right at 10 minutes, for some reason, it drops, but that's when I call out. I don't know how it is to receive a phone call, so that was weird. I hope it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, it's not. Usually if it drops on my end, it just goes out, but this was like, there was definitely a beep, which I'm not used to, so I don't know. We'll keep trying.
Thank you so much for being so cool about this. And I was
my pleasure.
I was just going to say no one calls each other anymore, so this is nice to talk over the phone,
No, it's true. I have teenage children, and I don't know that either of them has ever made a phone call ever.
Do you still have friends that you call like this?
Yeah, I'll still do phone calls with a couple of my old buddies from my 20s, yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. So how was your Monday? Was it good?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, Mondays aren't everyone's favorite. So again, thank you for doing this.
Of course. Did you have a nice Mother's Day?
Yeah, it was okay. I think I slept a lot. I'm a cat mom. I mean, I have cats.
How many cats do you have?
Well, I have 3, but I'm supposed to only say 2, so I might edit that part out because my apartments, they only let you have 2. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I have 2. Yeah, we were dog people. We have 2 dogs, and then we got a cat, and then we're like, we have to get another cat, and I have a feeling we're going to get more cats.
Ooh, you're a cat person? That's awesome.
We're getting kind of crazy about it.
Do you know whose birthday it is today? This got me thinking of you guys.
Give me a clue. Is it somebody I should know?
It's someone that was going to be part of Coconut Pete's supergroup in Club Dread. He was going to go on tour with them, and
it's not Jimmy Buffett.
No.
I don't know.
It's Billy Squier's birthday today. I was like, oh, man.
Billy Squier.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'd heard a story once that he, maybe you can confirm this. You probably would know more than I would. But he retired and became a horticulturist at Central Park in New York, that he's like a gardener in Central Park.
He is with that haircut? That's crazy. I can't picture that.
I don't know if that's just an urban legend or not, but that's what I'd heard. Love Billy Squier.
Yeah. I want to talk about Broken Lizard real quick just because I'm such a huge fan. Did you know you guys were my first? I'll elaborate. You were my first R-rated experience in a theater. Oh. That sounded bad too. I'm sorry. I turned I turned 17 when that movie came out, and my parents were strict, so I got to actually show my ID and legally purchase a movie ticket for a rated R film, and it was for Super Troopers.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
No, I always like hearing that. I've had a few people tell me that we were their first R-rated movie, and it makes me very happy.
Yeah, and I could have snuck in, but I wasn't that I was a scaredy cat. Did you sneak into theaters when you were growing up?
Yeah, all the time. Because I grew up in the 80s, and so there were multiplexes everywhere. I grew up outside a mall in Phoenix. So, yeah, my whole childhood was just running around, going in and out of theaters, sneaking stuff.
Ooh, do you remember?
My first R-rated one was Alien.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And there was only seats left in the front row. So I'm 10 years old, and I saw it just a few feet away from a gigantic screen, and it was the beginning of my obsession with horror movies,
So you do like horror films. That's good.
Yeah, I was always the horror weirdo in Broken Lizard because, I grew up also in the golden age of the rental, renting movies. And I was 10 when my parents got divorced, and so my dad would take me and my sister to the video store and would let us get all the things that our mom would not let us get. So I was way too young to be watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Friday the 13th and all that stuff. Yeah, probably not good.
What scares you? What's the kind of scary movie that freaks you out the most?
It's funny because I know some people would prefer supernatural, or some people it's more real, there's somebody out there, like slasher.
Mm-hmm.
I like I was just talking to my son, comparing notes. You've seen The Descent?
Yes, I love The Descent. Yes.
Yeah, when there are like gross, creepy monsters in the dark, then I'm a sucker for that. I mean, I love zombie movies, so like that.
Ooh, yeah, me too.
The Spanish movie Wreck, stuff like that. Yeah, good, well done, genuinely scary.
Yeah. Oh, The Descent was so good. I recently have been watching The Thing. There's something about that old school handmade special effects that I miss. I don't want that to ever go away. So I think.
And it's, and since I'm working with, Spencer from Ice Nine Kills, like, that's what we bonded over is like, he's just totally crazy about old school gore and splatter. So when we decided we were going to work together, it was really important to him to write something that had good kills that could be done practically. And that's what's exciting about doing something that's a good kind of slasher throwback is very few digital effects.
Yes. So that's the new film you're working on, The Slashin of the Christ. And you have Greg Nicotero working on this film too?
Yeah, Spencer just started sending the script around, and he has become he's already become this sort of legend in the horror community as his musical career has taken off. And he's just a great guy too. Everybody in the industry wants to work with him, and everybody in the industry was very excited that he wanted to branch out and do a film. So Brian Witten from Final Destination, Greg Nicotero from Walking Dead. And the more that we send the script around, the more that people are like, how do I get involved? So I think it's going to be one of those things. And it helps you when you're trying to do something low budget is when you can get people excited about like working, and they'll work their usual rate. It's necessary to get a film like this made.
Spencer from Ice Nine Kills, though, that threw me off. I didn't know you guys, because I could see you writing a movie with Willie Nelson or Josh Homme, but like Spencer from Ice Nine Kills, like how did you even meet him?
He is, I think, on his 4th year now of doing his own horror convention called Silver Scream. So I think the more that he started building out his audience of hard rock and horror movie lovers, he started throwing conventions, and he invited me and Eric from the group to the first one a few years ago because he's a big Club Dread fan. And he's also just like, he's a big comedy guy. So like he's seen every horror movie from the 70s, 80s, 90s, every comedy movie. And so since we had done one horror movie in Club Dread, he felt like that qualified us to be invited to a horror convention. And Eric and I do some of these conventions a few times a year. And we met, and I didn't know the band, but I met Spencer. I was like, this guy's awesome. He's funny. He's really cool.
He is funny, yeah.
And then we just started talking about finding stuff to do together. And he, all movie people want to be rock stars. All rock stars want to be musicians. So there's always that sort of like, oh man, I want to do what you're doing. Oh man, I want to do what you're doing. So he just really wanted to dip his toe into the film side of things. And then over the years, he's gotten sort of bigger and bigger and bigger in the horror space. And so we decided to sit down and write something together. He was like, I got a title. I've got a movie title, and that's all I've got. Slashin' of the Christ. And I was like, okay, that's funny.
Yeah.
What's your next idea? And he was like, no, seriously, Slashin' of the Christ. And I kept being like, no, it's funny. I get it. So what do you want to do? And he just kind of kept hammering me on this. And it kind of broke me finally, because when Club Dread came out, it came out the same weekend as Passion of the Christ.
I know.
And it was a big reason why that movie bombed so hard. Truly, like, nobody knew that Passion of the Christ was going to be this gigantic phenomenon. And by midday Saturday, movie theaters were like, we need to pull other movies off of all the other screens because churches are bussing in hundreds and hundreds of people. So truly, before it even got to be Sunday, Club Dread was being pulled off of screens to make room for Slashin' of the Christ. And so, look, I took that personally.
Yeah.
So finally Spencer was like, look, this is your chance to get back.
Yes.
Passion of the Christ. I was like, all right, fine, I'll do it. And then the more we talked about it, like with Club Dread, like I'm just a sucker for classic slasher movies. And anytime you can pull it off in a way that's also funny, that's right in my wheelhouse. So then the more we started riffing on the idea, I was like, oh no, I can see why this would be fun. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. And like I said, it's just been fun because everybody who reads the script really seems to love it. Only one, he sent it to an actor who I won't name, but it was somebody family who is a pretty religious person who I think read 2 pages and then said, sorry, I'm not gonna do that. And I understand that too. I mean, part of Spencer's appeal is he likes to be transgressive. He likes to be really naughty. And so I'm down to let's see what happens if we do something that's kind of sacrilegious.
So it's really going to push that envelope.
It is, but, it's also like every slasher movie is basically a morality play. And every slasher movie is basically, whoever the killer is basically a stand-in for some sort of biblical judgment. You misbehaved, you sinned, and you're going to get killed for it. So we're just cutting out the middleman and saying, ooh, well, what if that hand of God looks like it might be a literal hand of God? I guess we'll see. But I think we have a way of making it interesting and appealing to people all over the spectrum.
So it is going to be a funny horror film or just a full-on horror film? Because the website's pretty creepy looking. Yeah,
I mean, that's going to be I think that's the push and pull, is that Spencer really likes scary and he really likes gory, and obviously I'm a comedy guy.
Yeah, and you can do both.
Look, what I said to him was, look, if you like Club Dread, then that's to me the way to do it. And Club Dread I would describe as a comedy that has also great kills and some great scares in it. So to me, it's the same thing here. It's just the characters are all funny and we have a lot of laughs, but we want the set pieces, we want the kills to be as exciting and gory and crazy and scary as any other horror movie.
Club Dread is one of my favorites. It is. I almost met Eric. He was in town doing a screening of Club Dread a few years ago. He did the Q&A afterwards, and he watched the movie in the theater with us. And I had a DJ gig that night, so I couldn't stay for the rest of the movie to meet him. But I connect with your character because you're a DJ. Did you have to learn?
That's right.
Did you have to learn to do that, or do you know your way around a DJ controller?
No, I knew nothing. I knew none of that. So I'm glad. I assumed that what you were going to say was, as a DJ, it was obvious to me that you actually didn't know what you were doing. So, no, I was just flailing. I was just
how fun
making it up as I went along. But
do you have a go-to party song or hype song if you were a DJ? Is there a song that you would play to get the party going?
I'm the worst guy at the party who's always like, hey, has anybody ever heard of this obscure, easy listening artist from 1971? And everyone's like, oh, please shut the hell up, don't play music, Or if I do karaoke, I'm like, hey, there's this great Neil Diamond song that none of you have ever heard, and that's what I'm going to sing. So no, I'm the antithesis of the life of the party when it comes to picking music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
My go-to is Tarzan Boy by Baltimore. I love Tarzan Boy. Do you remember that one?
Yes, I hear that on the radio every now and then.
Do you really? It's so fun.
It makes me laugh. Makes me laugh. That's funny.
So you had said in our email exchange that no casting has been done, but the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon in me, my radar is already pointing to Devin Sawa because he's a direct link to Final Destination and he loves Ice Nine Kills.
Yeah. I know Spencer pointed out to me that Devin was promoting or was amplifying some of the write-ups on Slashin on his social media.
Yeah.
And I hear he's awesome. I hear he's a really nice guy. So, yeah, that's just it. Is that at the end of the day, Spencer has gotten to the point where he knows everybody. And so the hope is to populate the movie with people that we all love in good cameos or whatever. But it's the prime players in this story are college kids on a campus. So, I suspect that the main people will all be young actors, but that, there are opportunities to have a lot of cool people kind of come in as faculty. You've got opportunities there. So I'm sure there will be lots of good, fun, recognizable genre icon people in it.
Ooh, so it's not going to be a period piece. It's going to be something newer.
Yeah, no, it takes place in the current day, but it just has the feel of great sleazy slasher movies from 1981, the sort of the golden age of the really tawdry, sleazy slasher movie with lots of TNA.
Oh, I love that. One of my favorites is Slaughter High. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, sure.
I watch that every April Fool's Day and every Halloween. I can't get enough of Slaughter High because it's just so low budget, but it's so good. And I love those 80s slasher movie scores. Is Spencer going to help out with the score? Because that 80s score gets me.
The plan is for him to create original music plus scoring plus bringing in other artists that Spencer works with. So I think there's a cool opportunity as we do something that plays in the film space and plays in the music space is to have a soundtrack that's like a must-have soundtrack. Because that's another thing I feel like you don't see as much anymore, that like when we were young is like, no, you went and bought a soundtrack album because you had these movies built around awesome music.
Yeah, the 80s synth, just the synthy stuff of it. Like when I saw The Terrifier for the first time, that score was super 80s sounding, and it was just, I loved it.
Yeah. Damien did amazing stuff.
Damien, yes.
On all three of those movies, yeah.
Oh, the third one. People left. I saw the third one in theaters, and there was a few people that just got up at the very beginning. And
look, it's hard to watch. And even as a guy who loves horror, I'm also a parent, and I told my kids, you're not allowed to watch the Terrifier movies, especially Terrifier 3. I was like, there's things that you can't unsee.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I'm saying that, like I said, as a kid who was raised on slasher movies and horror movies. He's certainly pushing the envelope, and and that's part of what has inspired Spencer to be like, ooh, I want to be as outrageous as possible. So we'll see. It's a tightrope act when you're trying to be funny and scary and gory, because I think if you go too hard on certain horror elements, then it's hard to then be like, no, but it's also still like, it's got to go back to being funny. So I think there's a way to have your cake and eat it too, but that'll be the challenge when we're in production for sure.
Yeah, you did it so well with Club Dread. Also, I've been meaning to ask people about this. Ice Nine Kills looks so much like Nine Inch Nails to me, and I feel like if
Sure.
9 Inch Nails and Ice Nine Kills went on tour together, that flyer would cross my eyes one day.
He gets it all the time. He's always showing me like places where people have mixed up the names and have announced that 9 Inch Nails is like playing in support of Metallica when in fact it's Ice Nine Kills. So it's one of those things. It's unfortunate his cross to bear. And, but yeah, it leads to a lot of funny misunderstandings.
See, and I wonder if he did that on purpose, because I love Nightmare on Elm Street, and I watched a documentary on that once. And the reason they chose red and green for Freddy's sweater is because apparently it's to cause psychological distress in someone's eyes. Like red and green are not supposed to be put next to each other. Did you ever hear about that?
No, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I love Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, I can remember everything about that night of going to a midnight movie in 1984 and seeing Nightmare on Elm Street with no idea what I was getting into, and even just having that opening glove making scene play out and me being like, oh my God, I've never been so freaked out in my life. Yeah.
You saw that in theaters?
Oh, yeah. I was 14 years old.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So glad to be able to say that, I was one of the first people to be like, what the hell is going on here?
That is so neat. Oh my gosh. I went to an anniversary screening, and some girl dressed up as Nancy she brought a coffee pot with her. She was decked out in the whole pajamas, and she looked awesome. So there's some hardcore fans out there.
Yeah, and that's what's fun about going to do horror conventions. And that's one of the reasons I'm so glad that we did Club Dread, is that we get invited to like Horror Hound, and horror conventions are just a blast because everybody there is so heavily into it and go all out with costumes. It's just a great scene.
Yeah. You know what else I loved about Club Dread? And I don't know if you did this on purpose, but I love that your character was the only one with the mustache and the rest weren't, because you were the one without the mustache in Super Troopers. Was that on purpose?
No. Well, everything that we did in Club Dread coming off of Super Troopers was like, let's do the opposite of what we all did, because we didn't necessarily expecting for Super Troopers to become a franchise. We wanted to be Monty Python. So we wanted to be like, okay, every movie will showcase how different each of us can look and sound and act. And so, everything kind of about from the way we looked to those characters in Club Dread was intended to be different than what we had done in Super Troopers.
And it shows. I grew up watching, Mel Brooks films and the Three Stooges, and I love that each episode, the Three Stooges, they're painters, they're three soldiers. The fact that you guys are cops and firefighters and waiters, like, I don't know, it's just, you're in that category for me. You guys are like my happy place. Mel Brooks.
Yeah, no, that's what we hoped, because those are the movies we grew up on, and we always thought, oh man, we can do the same thing, the John Landis movies and the Mel Brooks movies and the Zucker Brothers movies and Monty Python. That was always what we hoped for.
Will you do me a favor and give Kevin, Jay, Steve, and Eric just the biggest hug from Iris and tell them I said, hey,
Absolutely. I should be seeing them at the end of this week, so I'll hug the hell out of all of them.
Thank you so much, Paul, for talking to me.
Absolutely. Nice to meet you, and yeah, we'll talk again soon.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, you guys. So if you want more info on the Slashin of the Christ, hit up the website, slashinofthechrist.com. Join the gospel. I did.